Gruul Aggro, that is the deck for today that we're covering in the episode. Thank you for tuning in. As always, excited to break down this mythic list by our friend Illuminaria. Congratulations on this wonderful run with this list that I'm excited to share here today. So thank you for tuning in. As always, down below we have the timestamps where I break down the strategy objective of this list. It is a standard list. We will cover best of 3 and play best of 1, and that is the second portion of today's video. And the final piece, as always with our timestamps, is our retrospective. So thank you for tuning in. Like I said, let's go ahead and dive into Gruul Aggro. But before we do so, just a friendly reminder, if you happen to have a question or comment, do let me know. I'd love to hear from you. On top of that, feel free to swing by the Discord server and come say hi. All right, let's get going here with Gruul Aggro by our friend Illuminaria. First off, I really like this curve. Very solid here in terms of what we got going on. And at the top end, some really nice speedy friends with Thundering Raiju and Ulvenwald. Now, a couple of nice things additionally that make this deck run really well is play with fire and lightning strike. Both the ability to clear a lane, but also being able to go direct to the face always makes a huge difference. Now, a couple of pieces on this one, as we talk about March of the Machine and March of the Machine in the Aftermath, we don't really have anything in our main board that we're leveraging. So this is a nice deck for those of you that might not have a ton of the new cards, as an example, or looking for some of those older lists as well, and something different to play. Now, there is a difference here on the sideboard. We'll cover that in that next piece here in a second, but the reality of this list is really about playing on curve, making sure that you're building that momentum because it's aggro, and a lot of stuff has haste here. You just want to keep pushing and dealing that damage. Ideally, your creature base gets bigger and bigger, and the creatures stack and gain power over time with things like Ascendant Pack Leader, Evolving Adaptive, Curian Beastcaller, and those items, and then Reckless Stormseeker as well, giving other stuff haste, allowing you to utilize your board very well and keep that damage and that pressure in on your opponent, hopefully enough to speed through, overcome, and overpower them and close that match for you. So that's really the strategy objective of this list. We're going to talk about our board, and we're going to break down against aggro, mid-range, and late game. Aggro lists are going to be very important here for removal. So things like Lithomantic Barrage, again, as I said, March of the Machines, really in the sideboard here. Here, this one, great against soldiers lists, great against mono white, mono blue, those kinds of things as well. And then obviously anything in those two colors. But if you do need that additional 1 damage, can make a difference and clear that lane. Tamio's Safekeeping here is also a good one. So if you want to protect your creatures, target permanent you control is going to gain hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. So that can be a good one for you as well, depending on what you're playing against. Furnace Punisher, if your opponent is running no regular lands, this can be a good one. It can be helpful on some of the aggro lists. Generally, it's going to be more of a late game focused deck. We'll come back to this one here in a second. Similar, Rendering Flame, removing a creature dealing 5 damage and also dealing 2 damage to that opponent's controller can be helpful against bigger creatures in that aggro space. An example would be a mirror match here. Cemetery Prowler, again, similar, good against aggro, bigger creature in that 3-drop slot. I would consider moving that in instead of a squee against other aggro lists. A good one and a good opportunity there. This actually runs 2. I ended up flipping in another Ulvenwald Oddity as an example. So a good idea is going from more of the aggro to more of a bigger creature mid-range list. And then Obliterating Bolt here as well to remove creatures. Last but not least, Furnace Reigns is very good in terms of pulling those key creatures away from your opponents and using those as well. So good things to kind of take your opponent out from that perspective on the aggro. When you move to mid-range, again, primarily a blend between creatures and spells. I would start to think more of the Tamios for protection of your creatures. You may not need to have the direct damage stuff as much, as an example, or also the Furnace Range. You may start to again think about that Furnace Punisher, but as we move into the late game is really going to be the 5-color lists, Atroxa list, domain list. Furnace Punisher is going to punish those decks for you. So that's a nice swap that you can throw in. Again, doing the direct to the face burn damage can still be very helpful against these. Exiling stuff can be helpful as well if you need it. And those are all good options there, again, between that aggro, mid-range, and late game. So that's really the strategy objective of this list. Keep pushing, pedal to the metal, get those creatures on the board, keep dealing the damage, swap in the right things again against that aggro, mid-range, late game, some of the stuff that we talked about. Again, late game, you're really just going to want to go fast, and that's exactly what this deck is supposed to do for you here today. So let's go ahead and play that competitive Magic. As we do, like I said, this deck is by our friend Illuminaria, and a Mythic deck for us here today. All right, let's go find a match in ranked on standard. Gruul Aggro, best of one. Pow. Here we go. We are in it to win it. All right, we'll keep this a great curve for us, and we're first. 1, 2. Perfect. Enters with +1/+1 counter on it. If you control a permanent 4 or more, and whenever you cast that 4 or more, it's going to get a +1/+1. We'll keep it. 2 or more, 2 or fewer. Right in the sweet spot, my friends. We'll start here and go there. All right, so we'll wait here, on here. No kicker. Counter. Nope. Could have went there actually, so that was a misplay on my end. Whoops. Leaving 2 damage still on the ground. That is a big play. We'll drop our friend here. +1. Speed in. We got plenty there, and we're golden. Ooh, that was lethal anyway. Holy cow. Fast, furious, destructive at its finest, and I did make that fast click mistake. I guess that is a nice deck for a low IQ like me. Anyway, all right, on to our best of 3 portion here. We'll see how this deck prevails for us in best of 3 here today. We'll take on the Atroxes. We'll take on the mid-range lists. We'll probably hit an aggro for saying that. That was a perfectly curved list for us and play. Minus that hiccup. All right, here we go. Kino it is. K-I-N-O. Kino. We will play first. This is a amazing hand. No. Oh. I'm gonna keep 6 because I will keep 6. I really don't like it though. And this could absolutely punish us pretty severely here, actually. Pretty severely. We'll hang on to that. I feel like we're not going to get our guy in here. Well, that's dead. That is dead. Oh. Now we can play this, though. Oh, there's our friend. That's a pain. Here we go. Now, what do we take from here? We'll hit that, making this cheaper. that thing off. Find out. Gains haste, so we can swing in with both. Would be a good idea. Take the 3, but we'll wait. And now that we're tapped out all the way, we're gonna run into some problems. But now this should get bigger. There we go. Oh, corpse appraiser. Oh, there goes our storm charged slasher. It's gone. It is gone. We're gonna attack in with both because they'll still get it. Most likely, or go for it. That's the whole board. And they're very, very far ahead of us. Could have moved it. But again, in trouble, and we are behind. Oh. And they have an endless piece. We'll go to our next match. We're not going to be able to come back from that. With the aggro side, yes, we should play it out, but we are in an okay position to not do that. In this case, what do we want to move in? Squee can be good, but they have that removal from the graveyard, which is a problem. Punisher can still be very good for us in the 3-drop slot. These all work okay. If we want to add the +1/+1 counters on it whenever another creature, if that creature's power is greater, it still scales very well. Play with fire is still good, and lightning strike. So this is what we're going to go with. A little bit harder for us. Furnace Punisher could work. In this case, it could be a decent one for us to pop in as well. Let's go to maybe here and go in on 2 Furnace Punishers. All right. I might have missed something there. That's okay. Right, we can keep this because we still have that. Now we could play that. This is the better play. So no commons right here, so we'll play this one. And they're not going to be able to kill it right away. So this is going to punish them. They'll hit the evolving off here. And now they have to get Furnace Punisher off. And then we'll go here, because we can get 5 through. They may try and block. Maybe not. Let's see. Otherwise 6. Alright. Furnace, Punisher, Punishing. So we can go with the Thundering Raiju, or we can play this. Let's go here. Bam! Take it! We got through. Very, very nice. We'll keep this where we're at. Trample Haste. The Punisher punished pretty badly. Alright. Recovered from that first match. Alright, we can keep this. Ooh. I will play. Do we kick it? I think we wait. I think we wait. We'll give it a shot. They can kill it. There we go. The question is gonna be, don't have haste damage here. That's what I figured would happen. So now we do this. And we'll get our own. So now our stuff becomes cheaper. Alright, so unfortunately we missed the hit. But this is what we're gonna do. We should be able to kick this. Take that thing off. Get 7 in. There we go. So we'll put a 1 here. And we'll get rid of that. We'll take it off. And remove some of that damage. So again, here can be a problem because I did get some of that life gain. And we'll sack that one. And they'll get their draw back. And gain a lot of life back. Ooh, here we go. So we can do that. We can do this. Unfortunately, that does not help us right now. In a bad spot against this list. they're kind of at that capacity now where there's no return for us at this point, because they can just keep going with this here, and now they can go draw and pick exactly what they need, and we've certainly lost momentum that we could have had. Very, very happy though with the recovery on that second match for sure. See, because then what they use on the Kiki Jiki on the return is they just pop the Sheoldred and block with the Death Dealer, which is just super, super awful. Being cheaper and cheaper all the time. We literally just need to have lethal. So now that we keep doing that, there's no creatures, but they got extra blockers, as I said. And they have lethal. Actually, all they gotta do is make another Sheoldred and swing in with everything. Stack. There they go. They got everything they wanted. So close. So close. I'm very happy with that result. Figured we'd hit a Grixis mid-range list. As you can see, this deck can still overcome it. We absolutely destroyed them with that Punisher. Ooh, love it nonetheless. I'm very happy, despite not winning, I'll say. So here we go, our Gruul Aggro list, Mythic list by our friend Illuminaria. Very happy, like I said, with the run. We did get that Furnace Punisher in. Very, very nice. I would maybe think about putting 4 of these things in this list. We never hit Tamio's safekeeping. I think that's an additional one that's really, really helpful. I would consider maybe flipping out Lithomantic Barrage instead, or keeping 2 of those and putting in Tamio's as a different example there for this particular list. But nonetheless, we crushed best of 1, totally on curved out really nicely in game 2 as well, against the Grixis list, but unfortunately we're not able to win that one. All in like 50% for today, so not bad. Had some good matches, fast and furious nonetheless. So thank you for tuning in. As always, appreciate your support. Thank you for the likes and the subs as we continue to grow this amazing community. Thank you to all the members, as always, too, for that support. With that, questions, comments throughout today or through the episode, let me know. I'd love to hear from you. On top of that, feel free to swing by the Discord server and join the community there as well. With that, we got a ton of content here available to you on the channel. We do a weekly series on the meta and other more things headed your way here. As always, all things Magic the Gathering. All right, we'll see you soon. Until then, Mythras out of here.